This is Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
Welcome to another very special Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. We started this last season. We thought we'd continue, of course, because our two teams are good sports. We call it the Battle of the Badges. It's the Rockford Police Department against the Rockford Fire Department. Keep the applause going for them. And we've got some hoots and hollers. That's awesome. In our inaugural game, Rockford Fire actually came out on top of Rockford Police. I'm not going to say the score, but let's just say that the Rockford Fire Department made a statement. Let's just put it that way. There's already been some serious trash talking here before the game even started. So some of the best parts of this game probably will happen when you're not even able to see them when you're watching on television. And after that first game, some of our high school teams tried to recruit Skip, because Skip had 10 correct Buzzin questions, which a lot of our high school students don't even do. Fantastic. So to make it a little bit easier, we put in a bunch of quantum physics questions for you, just to be sure. You're welcome. And I noticed Gabe Wasner is not here. He'll be very disappointed to see that we took out all the Disney questions, because he was a Disney master. I think those were the two that he got correct. And Michelle, you may be the ringer this season because, little known fact, you were on our production team for how many years of Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl?
Almost 3 years.
And now you're Rockford Police's captain. Introduce us to your team.
So I'm Michelle Markham. I'm the Public Information Officer. To my left is our new Deputy Chief, Bob Ruffett. To my far right is Detective Vince Kelly, and next to me is Officer Mark Castronovo.
Did you notice that I didn't even have to ask for the applause? You've barely finished your sentence. Yay, Rockford Police! We'll see what happens when we introduce Rockford Fire. Andy DeVente's their captain. Say hello to Andy. Applause, that was the cue. Andy, also a force last season when you guys played. We're glad that you're back. Introduce us to your team.
Thank you. Got Justin here, Mike, and Skip. We're Rockford Fire.
I paused to see how quickly the applause came. So I don't know. If we're giving points for applause right now, Rockford Police, you are in the lead. We're going to take a break. Everybody's going to kind of gather their thoughts, and we'll come back with some gameplay and see who puts up the most points in our Battle of the Badges for Season 8. We'll see you in a couple minutes. All right, an exciting game, the Battle of the Badges between Rockford Police and Rockford Fire. We begin with our buzz-in contestants, so hands on your buzzers. Remember, if you buzz in, you're on your own. You can't confer. The two most important rules are wait for me to call your name before you answer and say your answer loudly and clearly. Hands on your buzzers for our first question this week. What decade in which Mr. T starred on NBC's action series Snap?
1980s.
That is correct. A setting of contemporary shows, The Goldbergs and Stranger Things. Rockford Fire gets the first points of the game. What mustached Belgian detective uses the little gray cells of his brain to solve murders in Andy?
Pierrot.
That is correct. Hercule Poirot, easy for me to say, in novels by Agatha Christie. Although Let It Be was released later, what 1969 album containing Something and Come Together was the last studio album recorded by the Beatles? Mark.
Got nothing.
We'll clear the buzzers. Rockford Fire, you can take these points. Go ahead, Skip.
Abbey Road.
That is correct, right? Maybe one of the most famous album covers ever, with the guys walking across the street there. What object, whose debris causes the Orionid meteor shower, was observed by its namesake in Andy?
Halley's Comet.
Yes, 1682 will pass near Earth in 2061 and is a comet. You didn't even need the easiest clue there. What state where Denmark Vesey planned a slave rebellion was the first to secede from the U.S. and is home to Fort Sumter in Charleston, Andy?
South Carolina.
That is correct, in Charleston Harbor, and that is your 10 points, Rockford Fire. Mercredi, which refers to the Roman god Mercury, is the French word for what day of the week? Andy.
Monday.
Incorrect. Rockford Police, you could take these points. Michelle.
Wednesday.
Wednesday is correct. That is right. Your high school French class has paid off. Avery would be very proud of you. You've got 10 points. What quantity's elementary value was measured in the Millikan oil drop experiment can be expressed in coulombs and for electrons is negative? Skip.
Charge.
That is correct. Yep. Electrons are negative, protons are positive in the nucleus. New question. What civil rights organization's legal defense fund, led by Thurgood Marshall, challenged school segregation in the Mark?
NAACP.
That is correct. The 1954 case Brown v. Board. What pope published the Catechism of the Catholic Church and officially apologized for the persecution of Galileo? Mark.
John Paul.
Can you be more specific?
Pope John Paul. Second.
Second. You got it right before the buzzer. Yep, during his tenure in the 1990s. That's what we needed, is that second. 2 in a row for police. What art movement's painters included Marie Bracquemond, Berthe Morisot, and Marie Cassatt, as well as the painter of water lilies, Claude Monet? Andy.
Impressionism.
That is correct. Kind of a tough art question there. You got that one. Handled it well. The Delmarva Peninsula forms the eastern border of what inlet of the Atlantic Ocean, which is fed by the Susquehanna and Potomac rivers? Delmarva is a mashup of the 3 states, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, and that's Chesapeake Bay that is there. What character who was named for Nintendo's lawyer is a native of planet Popstar who often fights King Dedede and is able to inhale his enemies? Skip.
Kirby.
That is correct. The kids are so proud of you, Skip. Nice job, and you got those points. That's how we end the round, too. So a pretty solid start for Rockford Fire, but not too shabby for Rockford Police either. It's 80-30, 1 round in, lots of game to play. Our next round is volleyball, and it's right after this break. One round into our Battle of the Badges. Rockford Fire is off to a pretty strong start. They have 80 points. Rockford Police has 30. But lots of points still left up for grabs in our game. Before we get to those points in our volleyball round, a very special thank you to our judge today. Who else to help referee between the police and fire but a retired judge? Judge Rosemary Collins is here. She was here last year for this game. We really appreciate her support just for Quiz Bowl in general, but how appropriate that someone who dedicated so much of her life to public service is here with some other people who have dedicated their lives to serving our community. So thank you, Judge Collins, for being here, and thank you for what you do for us every day. All right, let's get down to some points. Volleyball round is a back and forth. You can work as a team, but the answer has to come from the captains. And because of the flip, Rockford Fire gets the first question. Andy, are you set?
Yes.
Here it comes. In 2020, the National Science Foundation announced the decommissioning of the Arecibo Observatory radio telescope in which U.S. territory? That territory was Puerto Rico. There's some structural failures there. Forgot to tell you, you have 5 seconds for those answers, but that buzzer was a quick reminder. We're over to Rockford Police now for your first question of the round. Here it comes, Michelle. What term for an actor comes from a 6th century BC Greek who, according to Aristotle, was the first recorded stage actor who portrayed a character?
Thespian.
That is correct, from Thespis of Icaria. And Rockford Police earned the first points of the round. Back to Rockford Fire. What 1969 book, whose title character eats 5 oranges on a Friday, was written by Eric Carle about a ravenous creature that becomes a butterfly?
Hungry caterpillar.
The Hungry Caterpillar.
Can you be more specific than that? We have to, because it's a title, we have to take the exact title. It's the Very Hungry Caterpillar. Anyone with kids? Schnapp, you knew that one pretty quickly, right? You must have kids. Back over to Rockford Police. What quarterback threw 60 touchdowns for LSU during the 2019 season and was taken with the first pick in the 2020 NFL Draft?
Burrow.
You got it. That's right. Mark, you get credit for that, I think. I heard you chime in with that one. Very nearly won the Super Bowl with the Cincinnati Bengals this year. Joe Burrow. Rockford Police gets 10 more points, and we're over to Rockford Fire. What country's San Isidro movement has joined in protests against Miguel Diaz-Canel, who in 2021 assumed power as first secretary from Raul Castro?
Cuba.
Castro was probably a cue that was Cuba, and those are your first points of the round. Back to Rockford Police. In 1639, what English colony adopted the Fundamental Orders, a governing document that led to the future state's nickname, the Constitution State?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts?
Very close. Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Right area, wrong state. Back over to Rockford Fire. What material, discovered accidentally by Roy Plunkett, contains repeating CF2 units and is a polymer commonly found in nonstick cookware?
Teflon.
Yes, that seemed like a team effort there. Even the repeating, you didn't even know what repeating CF2 units needed to be with that last clue, and you got those points. We're back over to Rockford Police. What director cast Richard Dreyfuss in the UFO film Close Encounters of the Third Kind and made a 1975 film about shark attacks called Jaws?
Spielberg.
That's right, responsible for some of the most successful movies ever. Back to Rockford Fire. Gambrel, mansard, and gable are all types of what part of a building that may contain elements called ridges and eaves?
Roofs.
Yes, and I didn't even need to finish the question. You knew that one quickly, and that's the end of the round. So Rockford Fire makes it into their triple digits, 110, but Rockford Police closes the gap a little bit. They have 60 points. We're halfway through our game. Our lightning round is next, and it is worth a lot of points. You run a category, it'll change your score by 100. We'll have that lightning round after this. We are at the NECA IBEW lightning round point in our Battle of the Badges for Season 8 of Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. Rockford Fire's on top, but not by much, 110 to 60. That's how many points Rockford Police has. Our lightning round will change scores fast, and because of the flip, Police, you get first choice. So, Captain Michelle, your three categories are double O, teams not ending in S, and SH.
They say teams.
All
Let's
right.
go with teams.
Teams. Sounds like a team decision there. Teams not ending in S. Name these pro sports teams whose nicknames do not end in S. 60 seconds for these 10 questions, and then Andy, you and the team will have 30 seconds to get to what they don't. Remember, you can pass. Michelle, are you ready?
Yep.
Name these pro sports teams whose nicknames do not end in S. Massachusetts MLB team that plays in Fenway Park.
Red Sox.
Correct. South Florida team that lost in the 2020 NBA Finals.
No, Miami Heat.
Heat.
Correct. Pacific Northwest NHL team debuted in 2021.
Is that the Golden Knights? Golden Knights.
Pass.
NBA team that relocated to the Sooner State in 2008.
Oklahoma Thunder.
Thunder.
Correct. NHL team that shares an arena with the Denver Nuggets.
Denver.
Avalanche.
Correct. NBA team starring Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell.
Pass.
MLB team that threw the 1919 World Series.
White Sox.
Correct. NHL team that won the 2020 and 2021 Stanley Cup Finals.
Pass.
NBA team that drafted Shaquille O'Neal.
Magic.
Correct. NHL team that plays at Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul. Buzzer got you. There's no time to answer. You are now in the lead by 10 points. Nice job, Rockford Police. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that leaves 4 for you, Andy, and the team to clean up. Most of them were passed. You heard me read that last one. Name these pro sports teams whose nicknames do not end in S. Here we go. Pacific Northwest NHL team debuted in 2021.
Pass.
NBA team starring Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell.
Pass.
NHL team that won the 2020 and 21 Stanley Cup Finals.
Pass.
NHL team that plays at Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul.
Wild.
Correct. Pacific Northwest NHL team debuted in 2021. And that's our buzzer. So you got one left. We got a tie game. That's pretty exciting, right? Back to where we started. There's 3 left that no one got. Pacific Northwest NHL team that debuted in 21 was the Kraken, the Seattle Kraken. The NBA team that Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell play for are the Jazz, Utah Jazz. And the NHL team that won the 2020 and 21 Stanley Cup Finals, that's the Tampa Bay Lightning. There are 2 categories left, Andy, for you to pick from, double O or SH.
Your choice, bro. Double O.
You got it. Give these words that either begin or end with 2 O's. If you can visualize the words, that might help. This could be a breeze for you. Same rules apply. 60 seconds is on the clock. Give these words that either begin or end with 2 O's. Synonym for a lot.
Oodles.
Oodles.
Correct. An act that is culturally forbidden.
Taboo.
Correct. To slowly flow out or a substance that does so.
Ooze.
Correct. Fast-growing plant eaten by pandas.
Bamboo.
Correct. Semi-arid region of southern Africa.
Pass.
Type of tea whose name means black dragon.
Oolong.
Correct. Droning instrument played by the Aboriginal people of Australia.
Didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo.
Correct. The study of birds' eggs.
Oology.
Correct. To praise extravagantly or the act of doing so.
Pass.
Vocalization of sports fans who disagree with a call.
Boo.
Correct. Semi-arid region of southern Africa.
Pass.
Pass.
To praise extravagantly or the act of doing so. There's a buzzer, no time to answer. 8 of them correct. You added 80 to your score. You are now at 200 points. So Michelle and Rockford Police, there's 2 left, 20 points potential for you. These are probably the 2 toughest that are left. You have 30 seconds, take all of it if you need it. Give these words that either begin or end with 2 O's. You ready? Semi-arid region of southern Africa.
Pass.
To praise extravagantly or the act of doing so.
Pass.
Semi-arid region of southern Africa.
Pass.
And to praise extravagantly or the act of doing so.
Pass.
Do you want to just go no answer, or are we going to keep bouncing back and forth?
We're thinking. It helps.
Okay. There's the buzzer. And I cost you 5 seconds. Would it have made a difference, maybe? They were the 2 hardest, really. That semi-arid region of southern Africa is Karoo, K-A-R-O-O. And to praise extravagantly or the act of doing so is ballyhoo. Kind of a tough one as well. So here's how we sit going into our final round. Rockford Fire is on top with 200 points, but Rockford Police is not too far behind at 120, and each of our final challenge questions is worth 20 points. So those scores could change really quickly, and that final challenge is up in about 2 minutes. Our battle of the badges in Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl comes down to this. Rockford Fire has 200 points. Rockford Police has 120. Our final challenge from Mercy Health is a buzz-in. Same rules as that first round. The only difference is each question is worth 20 points. And the 2 most important rules, wait for me to call your name and say your answer loudly and clearly. Hands on your buzzers. Good luck, teams. Here's our first question. What force, whose study is called tribology, has a magnitude of, at most, a coefficient mu times the normal force and slows down a sliding object? Bob.
Coefficient of friction.
Well, take that. That's correct, yes. And you've got the first points of the round. The opening line of To Kill a Mockingbird refers to the broken arm suffered by what character in his altercation with Bob Ewell? Mark.
Copernicus.
Incorrect. Rockford Fire, you could take these points. Schnapp.
Boo Radley.
Incorrect. Jem. It's Scout who narrates the book. It's her brother, Jem Finch. What city was home to Tempelhof Airport, which was used to receive goods during a 1940s Soviet blockade and was divided by a wall? Skip.
Berlin.
That's correct. By a wall from 1961 to 1989. What playwright created the fathers Eddie Carboni in A View from the Bridge, Joe Keller in All My Sons, and Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman? Michelle.
Arthur Miller.
That is correct. He wrote all of those, and you've got those points. What composer of The Thunderer, Fairest of the Fair, and Semper Fidelis was nicknamed the March King and also composed, Skip.
John Philip Sousa.
That's correct. You didn't even need the most obvious clue there at the end, the Stars and Stripes Forever. What gas with tetrahedral molecular geometry is the lightest alkane? Bob.
Helium.
Incorrect. Rockford Fire. That alkane is methane. No points for either team. What condition whose fixation type is a symptom of Korsakoff syndrome, has anterograde and retrograde types. Skip.
Amnesia.
Yes, and involves deficits in memory. Again, you didn't need that most obvious clue at the end. What newspaper named Sally Busby as its executive editor in 2021 has the slogan, "Democracy dies in darkness"? Schnapp.
Washington Post.
Yes, and is based in the nation's capital. What man who skipped the Constitutional Convention because he smelled a rat gave a 1775 speech in Virginia stating, "Give me liberty or give me death"? Bob.
John Hancock.
Incorrect. Rockford Fire, you could take these points. Skip.
Thomas Paine.
Incorrect. Patrick Henry, that was a quote from him. Actin and myosin are found in what structures with cardiac and smooth forms? Skip.
Muscles.
Yes, plus those connected to bones by tendons that contract to cause movement. What politician who displayed a poster depicting 111 days of hell and a mountain during the COVID crisis resigned as the governor of New York? Mark.
Como.
We'll give you that. That's correct. Andrew Cuomo. And that's how we end the round with those points for Rockford Police, up to 180, but it's not enough. Rockford Fire pulled away. Congratulations. 2 years in a row. That's right, Schnapp. So the guns. Congratulations. And it's just a lot of fun. I hope you had fun being here. We have fun putting this game on. But more importantly, thank you not just for being here, but for what you do for all of us every day. Because, yes. Because there are things that you all do and have done on your jobs that none of us could do. So we appreciate that. And maybe being up here is a little more nerve-wracking than what you encounter on a day-to-day basis. But we just want you to know that we appreciate it, and that's why we do this. We want to showcase you. So thank you for that. And we hope you can join us next week when we begin our middle school version, the Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl Junior Edition. We'll see you then.